Hello friends, welcome to another episode of Magic Monday. Today we are looking at a deck called Reggie. Why is it called Reggie, you ask? Well, if you know why it's called Reggie, say so in the comments. Commander is Jessie Zane, Fangbringer, 3 mana for a 3/4 with Death Touch. Already a pretty cool, powerful card. But when Jessie Zane enters the battlefield, and whenever you cast a snake spell, conjure a card named Ambush Viper into the top 6 cards of your library at random. It gains when this creature enters the battlefield, draw a card. Ambush Viper is a 2 mana for a 2/1 flashing, death-touching snake. Pretty cool. I also really like the art on Jessie Zane. Let's look under the hood. Average mana cost of 2.9. 41 green cards, 18 artifacts. 31 creatures, 22 of which are snakes. We also have 4 shapeshifters in here, and then a little bit of a hodgepodge. 1 instant, 2 sorceries, 20 artifacts, including a snake artifact. More on that later. 14 enchantments, including 4 of them being snakes, and 1 planeswalker, Viv. Hey, Viv. Not Aunt Viv. That's different. Mana rock, as per the usual. Then we got snakes. We got an ankle biter. We got a fang. We got a moss viper. We got a bamboo archer. We got a coiling stalker. We got a fanatic. This guy's pretty cool. When you've got a creature with power 4 or greater, you could tap to add 4 green mana. Neat. We got a lotus cobra. We got a naga, vitalist. Probably vitalist. We have a noose constrictor. We got a merge keeper. What else did we skip? We have this battle glyph. It lets us have creatures fight, which is handy with the death touch that's in this deck. We also have a tail swipe. It's exactly the same card. Traverse the Ulvenwald. Search your library for a basic land card. Guess what? It's a forest. Then shuffle. If there are 4 more card types among cards in your graveyard, instead search your library for a creature or land and then put it in your hand. We got Ozolith for some 1/1 counters to make our snakes big snakes. Roaring Earth, same thing, but with landfall. This is one of our enchanted snakes. We have Shortcut to Mushrooms, so we can get a tempting snake. And if a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn, at the end of your end step, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. So with us creating a whole bunch of flashing ambush vipers that we can dump during our opponent's turn, it won't trigger this. But then if we play them during the opponent's end step and then attack with them and they block, whatever, we can make our stuff bigger. And it's a shortcut to mushrooms. This makes our snakes bigger and lets us scry. We got a counter, and then it comes back as a snake monk. We have other enchantment creatures you control get +1/1, or copy target activated or triggered ability you control from an enchantment source. So that can be handy with the shortcut to mushrooms. Mana rock, medallion. I love that they brought these back. Here's our shapeshifter that we choose snakes, so they get a little bit bigger when they come into play. Mana rock here. Pyre of Heroes, we can sacrifice Ambush Viper to make it bigger, and it ain't a problem because we can make plenty of Ambush Vipers. We've got this guy, which whatever, it's just a common snake. Another common snake. Another common snake. Rare snake. When it deals combat damage to a player, choose land or non-land and then seek it. That's pretty neat. And it has ninja. It's a snake ninja. This is a cat snake that lets us not get our stuff countered, which is fun. This one lets us play lands from our graveyard. So just a bunch of snakes, guys. It's just a bunch of snakes, including a spawning pod, which is not a snake, but lets us find some snakes. This I like a lot in this deck, because all of our ambush vipers, instead of being 2/1s, come in as 4/3s. Very nice. Automaton lets us make bigger snakes. Bloodline Pretender gets to be a snake. Coalition Construct is just like the Automaton. Faceless Agent comes in as a snake, and then we get to seek a snake. So we're triggering Jessie a lot in this deck. It's not uncommon for me to have multiple draws in a row of Ambush Viper. Green creatures get +1. We add a green. We got green creature, snake creatures will cost 1 less. We have bigger snakes from this. I like this a lot. I wish I had been putting this in more tribal decks, but it kind of slipped my mind for some reason. But creature spells of the chosen type cost 2 less to cast. So we have lots of ways of reducing the cost of our snakes, which is really nice. Elven Chorus lets us cast those flashing snakes from our library. Nature's Will lets us untap our lands whenever a creature deals combat damage to our opponent. And it taps all their lands, which I like a lot. This guy, just for a little bit of life gain, when a creature I control with toughness 4 or greater dies, gain 4 life. This is just a big snake. It's 4 for a 4/4, and then we can escape it as a 7/7. Roaming Throne, unlike most of my tribal decks, you don't choose the tribe with this throne. You choose Assassin or Human to trigger Jessie. So then every time we cast a snake, we have 2 Ambush Vipers being summoned, or conjured is the word they use, conjured into the top 6 of our library. Glorious Sunrise, we can give our snakes trample. Silverback Elder, not a snake, but with the amount of snakes that we cast, we can wipe out artifact or enchantment-based decks really nicely. This one, we make bigger snakes, then it comes back as a 5/5 Vigilant Snake Warrior with haste. Here's Viv. The goal here is to get that -8. You get an emblem with creatures you control, get +2/2, and have Vigilance, Trample, and Indestructible. Getting that on the board is like a guaranteed win. Vanquisher's Banner helps with card draw and snake pumping. Craterhoof Behemoth. I hate this card, but it is a game-ending card. Sandworm Convergence. Well, sometimes our snakes call in their cousins, the worms. Protects us against flyers, which is good because we don't have a lot of protection against flyers in this deck. And it lets us make a bunch of worms at the beginning of every end step. Great Henge for card draw plus bigger snakes. Stonecoil Serpent is a snake and has protection from multicolored and has reach. So that's basically our only protection from flyers. And Hooded Hydra, which is a Hydra, but when it dies, create a 1/1 green snake token for each 1/1 counter on it. Nice. We got a desert in here just for fun, forest, a gate, a cabin, an animal sanctuary that lets us put a 1/1 counter on target snake, which is nice because it also doesn't say as a sorcery, and Tyrite Sanctum, which we can make Jessie Zane into a god to be indestructible. That's the deck, friends. If you know why it's called Reggie, leave it in the comments. As always, be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other. We will see you in the next episode. Let's get to some games.